Hello everyone. In this lecture, I'm going to talk about a dependency model of mass communication effects. If you remember from my discussions earlier, I told that uh, to study the effects of mass communication has been a primary concern for many communication scholars. For this reason, we see a number of models in the field of mass communication that are related to the effects of media. So dependency model actually is one of them. All right, let's begin. Here is my next slide. Here I'm going to talk about what actually media system dependency theory is, what this model is, and what it says. Um, Before you see the content or before you read the content that you are seeing on screen, I suggest that please pay attention to my words and pay attention to what I'm saying here, and then we will read this text, then it will make more sense for you. So please pay attention to these words here: media system dependency. This means dependency of audience or dependency of an individual uh, upon a media system, which means that uh, to how much extent a person is dependent on media system. What this model says is that the more a person is dependent on the content which is coming from mass media, the stronger role media will have in that person's life. I'll repeat my words here. The idea behind media system dependency model is that the more a person depends on content related to media, the more important role media will play in that person's life. That is how we can explain the media system dependency theory. All right, now let's see what we have here on this screen. Um, the definition that you see here, I got this definition from the book that I have mentioned in here in the source. Although I have been using Dennis McQuill's book to teach models, however, for this definition, I actually borrowed these lines from Dennis and Davis' book because I found it better there. All right, it says the same thing that I just explained. It says media system dependency theory asserts that the more a person depends on having his or her needs met by media use, the more important will be the role the media play in the person's life. All right, this is more or less the same thing that I just said, that the more a person is exposed to media content, the stronger role media will play in that person's life, and that is how the person will be dependent upon media content for learning information. And now let's move to the next slide. This idea will become further clear to you when we discuss it in coming slides. All right, here actually you see the slide says that media system dependency model is also known as MSD model. The kind of dependency that we are talking about here actually depends on two main factors. It depends on two conditions that I have mentioned here. First, the kind of dependency depends on circumstances in a society. It depends on undergoing changes. So, if there is conflict, if there is instability, there people will be depending more upon media. Here I would say that consider any situation of instability. For example, in case of tornado, in case of hurricane, in case of accident, in case of in case of plane crash, of course people are dependent on media. Everyone, we all know what happened in the wake of 9/11, when twin towers were attacked by aircrafts in 2001. Literally everyone all across the world was glued to television. People were glued to television and they were seeing what has happened in New York. So see, this is what it says, that dependency depends on the kind of situation that society is going through, and in times of conflict and in times of instability, that dependency level actually increases. This is what we're talking about, that the level of dependency depends on these factors. Another is that what kind of role media plays in people's life. um, well, if media is important, I mean, there are certain kinds of media that are really, really central in our lives, that are really, really important. Netflix enjoys a lot of popularity nowadays among its audience, and same has been the case with Hollywood. Hollywood, whatever content comes from Hollywood, people tend to believe upon that. People tend to develop, shape their attitudes and beliefs according to the content that they see coming from Hollywood movies. For this very reason, Hollywood has been accused many times for doing discriminatory portrayal, for presenting discriminatory sort of presentations. You see, it says that the level of dependency depends on the degree to which media is important. Hollywood is an important media, we all know that. And if if an information comes from Hollywood, people tend to believe it. Now, in this context, I am going to share some lyrics that I took from the movie Aladdin. These lyrics are from a song, Arabian Nights. Here I'm giving you example of the movie Aladdin that came out in 1992, which is different from the movie Aladdin that came out last year in 2019. The example that I'm giving here is from the movie that came out in 1992, which was an animated movie. And the song that big actually is the opening of the movie, that comes in the beginning of the movie. The lyrics in that song go like this. The singer sings, and he says that, oh, I come from a land, from a faraway place where the caravan camels roam, where it's flat and immense and the heat is intense. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that, see, I mean, what the lyrics say, it says that, well, Arab world, it's barbaric, it's hot, heat is intense there, and it's a kind of place where caravan camels roam. Now, don't you think that this kind of presentation actually would kind of spark imagination in people's minds about, okay, what an Arab world may look like, especially people who have never been to Arab part of the world in their lives. Yes, soon after the release of the movie, because of this song, Hollywood was accused of presenting discriminatory sort of portrayal for the Arab part of the world. Now, again, what I'm trying to say here is again, related to the main idea of the model, which says that the more a person is dependent upon the content coming from media, the stronger role media will play in that person's life. I am going to end the first part of my lecture here. You will get some more explanation in continuing lectures. Thank you.